It all started as a stupid dare. One summer night, me, Jake, and Delilah decided to explore the old Black Ridge Hospital. It's been shut down since '93. There's no people, no power, no reason to be there. The place was supposed to be locked up, but when we got there, the front doors were wide open. We crept inside the old abandoned building, and there was dust and debris everywhere. The silence was so thick it felt like someone was watching us. We explored the building for a bit, and that's when Delilah found the door. Room 314. There were some weird symbols carved into the door. I thought it was odd, and Jake said it was probably just a prank. Jake wanted to check it out, so he went in and Delilah followed. But me, I was too scared, so I stayed in the hallway. They looked around in the room for a bit, and the next thing you know, the door slammed shut. Chills started to run down my back. You guys, stop messing around. I tried to open the door and it wouldn't budge. Come on, Jake, open the door. This isn't funny. Cut it out, you guys. And then that's when I heard Jake's voice right up against the door, and he whispered, "It followed us in here. Don't let it out." I froze, and then I started to feel someone breathe down my neck, but when I turned around, there was no one there. When Lena moved into the old apartment building on the edge of the city, it felt like the fresh start that she needed. The rent was cheap, the walls were thick, and the neighbors mostly kept to themselves. But something wasn't right. At night, the TV would flicker. Even when it was off, channels would change on their own, static would rise just as she was about to fall asleep, as if something didn't want her resting. Then, the feeling of being watched. Not in the way you feel in public, but the sharp, pressing sensation of eyes fixed on you. Alone in her living room, brushing her teeth, walking past mirrors, she always felt like someone else was there. She began glancing over her shoulder more, keeping curtains closed, sleeping with the light on. Then, the notes started. Handwritten, folded neatly, slipped under the door late at night. "I see you. You're safe now. Don't be scared, I understand you." At first, she laughed it off. Some creepy neighbor playing games. She checked her cameras, but she didn't see anyone. No sign of who was leaving them. Then, things escalated. Her phone began glitching. Random tracking apps appeared and disappeared. Her battery drained even when untouched. Then she found a strange folder full of photos. Not of her, but of her apartment. The couch, her favorite mug, the inside of her fridge, her underwear. Photos she never took. She heard someone knocking, so she ran to the front door. The hallway was empty, but taped to the peephole was a final note. "You're always exactly where you need to be." The building's manager claimed no one had been in or out, said it was probably just a prank, but his voice trembled when she showed him the photos. That night, the static returned, louder than ever. Lena stood in front of her TV, heart racing, as the screen flickered violently. In the center of chaos, a face. Not clear, not fully formed, but it was watching her, smiling. She yanked the power cord from the wall. Her phone buzzed. One new message. From an unknown number, no name, just 3 words. "Turn around, Lena." She didn't. She couldn't. Some people don't fall in love with you. They fall in love with the idea of owning you, and some don't need to break in to feel close to you. They just need to watch and wait. It was a late Friday night in October. The smell of wood smoke and spices filled the air. I was off from work and I had nothing to do, so I figured I'd scroll on Tinder for a bit. After swiping left a few times, I finally matched with a girl around midnight. No profile picture, just the name Scarlett. She messaged me right away. "You're up late, I like that." Her location said she was less than a mile away. At 12:07, she sent another message that said, "Can I come in?" Not come over, not hang out, just come in. Kinda weird, but whatever. I laughed and replied, "Sure, LOL." And then I didn't think twice about it. She never responded to my message, so I figured she'd just gotten bored. That is, until 12:13. That's when my front door unlocked itself. And then I started to hear footsteps walking across my hallway floor. They were slow and heavy, like someone who wasn't trying to sneak around, like someone who didn't care if their presence was known, someone who was already inside of my apartment. I'm a broke college student and I needed some extra cash, so I started to deliver pizza on weekends, right? Well, last night, this guy orders a large pineapple and jalapeno. Disgusting combo, really. Immediate red flag, because who orders pineapples on pizza? But whatever. So I drive it out to this creepy old house on the edge of town. There were no lights on and the place looked abandoned. The app says to leave it at the door, so I walk up, drop off the pizza, and turn around to leave. That's when I hear this creepy voice. "You forgot the extra sauce." The voice is coming from behind me, so I spin around, but no one's there. Then the door creaks open. Not like old hinges creak, I mean it screams at me. Inside it's pitch black, but I swear I see someone standing there, holding a slice of pizza, just staring. Eyes glowing, mouth covered in sauce. And then that's when they whispered, "Pineapple belongs." And then that was it for me. I just ran. I canceled the app and I decided I'm never delivering again. Oh, and if you eat pineapple on pizza, then it's too late for you. You've already become one of them. People always ask me why I never visit my childhood home. I tell them because my parents died there, but that's not the truth. Truth is, that thing, is still living in the walls. I know, I sound crazy, but just let me explain. I was about 9 years old when I first heard it rummaging around in the wall behind my bed. It wasn't quiet and mouse-like, it was heavy, intentional, kind of like it wanted me to know it was there. I told my parents about it. My mom said it was just the wind, and my dad said it was just the pipes, but I knew deep down it was something more sinister than just pipes and wind. One summer night, I was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, when all of a sudden I heard a childlike voice. "Do you want to play with me?" I froze, and I thought to myself, I must be dreaming. "Sorry if I scared you. I'm just so lonely in here." That's when I realized the voice was coming from inside the wall, right behind my headboard. I remember my heart pounding so hard I thought I might break my ribs. I didn't answer. I just pulled the blanket up over my head and prayed for morning to come. Every night after that, it would whisper to me. Sometimes it would sing soft lullabies in a voice too old and too cracked to belong to a child. And sometimes it would scratch. Not little scrapes, but long, deliberate dragging of something sharp along the inside of the wall. I even pressed my ear against it once, and I swear to you, I heard breathing. Slow, shallow, like whatever it was pressed up against the other side was listening to me too. I begged my parents to check. My mom humored me once, knocked on the wall, smiled, said, "See, nothing there." But when she left the room, the voice whispered, "She doesn't believe you, but I do." I screamed so loud. After that, my parents sent me to therapy. Therapist said it was stress, an overactive imagination, night terrors, but I knew better, and I knew what I heard that night. A few days after that would be the last time I'd ever see my parents. I woke up one morning and they were gone without a trace. The police searched for years, but they were never found. After all of that trauma, I moved in with my aunt and uncle, grew up, got therapy, and moved on with my life. Until 2 weeks ago. The house, my old house, it went up for sale, and I don't know why I did it. Closure maybe, but I just needed to see it one last time. So I got in my car, threw the keys in the ignition, and headed back to my hometown. When I got there, everything looked the same as I had remembered. So many memories started to flood my mind as I made my way around the house. I got to my old bedroom and took a deep breath. Maybe it really was just all in my head, just a kid whose imagination got the best of them. That was until I heard an unmistakably familiar voice say, "Welcome back. I've been waiting for you." The next thing you know, I was out cold. I woke up to the smell of smoke. My room was glowing orange. The hallway outside my door was pitch black. "Come with me and you'll be safe behind the wall." I ran. Not toward it, away. I jumped from my bedroom window, broke my ankle, and screamed until a neighbor found me. The house was still standing, but the fire took everything inside, or at least that's what they thought. The fire marshal said it started in the walls, faulty wiring, but I know better. That thing, it feeds on homes, on families, on fear. And I know it's still there, waiting. The siren stopped 3 days ago. That's when I really knew something was wrong. See, I'm Leo, head security guard at a research facility just outside of Phoenix. It's a boring job, really. I always work the graveyard shift, see the same faces every day, coffee machine's always broken. The place is quiet, too quiet. And 3 nights ago, during a power outage, the emergency doors sealed shut and wouldn't reopen. I thought it was just a glitch, IT nonsense. That was until I checked the cameras. There were people outside, but most of them were dead. Not dead. They were moving, twitching, dragging themselves across the concrete like their bones had forgotten how to bend. Their eyes were wrong, glazed over, blank, like the lights were on, but nobody was home, and they were eating whatever moved. I watched one of them, Dr. Abrams. He was a nice guy, always brought donuts on Tuesdays, and he was chewing on someone's hand like it was beef jerky. So, yeah, I stayed locked inside the security room. 3 days, no food, just water and reruns of the last good days on the monitors. But yesterday, the lights died. The backup generators tapped out, so I did something stupid. I opened the door. There was no alarm, no echo, just silence, thick and heavy like the world had stopped breathing. Hallways were painted in a dried up red substance, but not all of it was blood. Some of it looked wrong, like black mold had taken root in the walls. That's when I heard it. The dragging, that awful, wet, dragging sound like something was pulling broken limbs behind it. I ran up the stairwell, past the labs that had been torn open from the inside, past faces I once nodded to in the break room. The faces I once knew were now twisted into something less than human. I made it to the roof. The wind was howling like the world was screaming. And then I saw it. The city was gone. Smoke was curling up from the shattered buildings. No helicopters, no sirens, no stillness. But then, movement. Not from behind me, across the rooftops. A girl no older than 10. She was standing barefoot, holding a stuffed animal that was missing its head. She looked over at me, blinking slowly. And then she smiled at me. Not the kind of smile kids should have. Not the kind with hope. The kind that meant I wasn't the first thing she'd seen today, or the worst. So, yeah, the siren stopped 3 days ago, and whatever started all of this is still out there.